PT, the time machine is yours. Which version of yourself do you go back to, and what do you say to him?
I was always very sexually self-realized. I always, as I look back, I always thought the following. So it's more what I would have said then. Now perhaps I could say it in words. It's simply the way we approach sex could teach us not only about sex, but about many things in life. And that is to own it. If you want to go in the bushes in Central Park or Berlin, how do I know about Berlin? And have some sex at 4 a.m, do it, own it, really do it, really enjoy it, and understand that other than breaking laws and trouble you may get in at work, etc., people don't care. This spreads out into all sorts of areas. People aren't thinking about us that much. They're thinking about themselves. They don't care if you went into the bushes, in Barcelona. How do you know about Barcelona? They don't care.
Especially examples, PT.
Especially if you own it. If you own it, if you feel good about it yourself, then either people won't care or they'll celebrate it with you or they'll move on. Worry about your own self-esteem, how you feel about things. Perhaps think about what you're going to do before you do it, although that's not always either possible or desirable. Learn to trust yourself. And it's no big fucking deal. Own it. Nobody gives a shit. And in a good way. In a good way. I'm not saying you won't get. Don't forget, I made my living in an area where the more of a sexual monster I was, the more I was celebrated as a genius. That's not the case in most other areas of life, especially these days. So you need to be smart about where you are in the world. But I know so many people who approach sex. I was going to say approach sex from the back door, and I didn't mean it in that way, but in a passive aggressive way. We want to go out tonight. Let's pick up some girl, but they don't really plan it. They sort of slip into the bar at the last second with half their mind. And if you meet someone there, I'm just hanging out. I don't really care. Rather than saying, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want. I'm going to make it as great as possible. I love it. I feel good about it. And if you don't, fuck you.
I'm hearing a lot of crossover between what you're saying and what Kevin said about basically try things, just go into it. And I think with that, it correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like there's an element of, and it may not work. You may not have a good time, but at least you tried it. You found that out.
But most importantly, learn the lesson that if you feel good about what you do, most of the time, either people will accept it or they won't care, but it's a good way to get strong within yourself. And those who may come down on you for this or that, be able to say to them, I want to say fuck you, but that's just easily what comes to mind. You can own it. Own it. And you'll enjoy it that much more. And the lessons you learn can make you a more confident person in many areas of life. Don't make
you nodding your head vigorously. I take it that you agree with this. Would your younger self agree with this, or would this be news to her? Yeah, Kelly.
Oh, I totally agree with what he's saying. I mean, I think what I would tell my younger self, it's weird because my younger self, like, I started college at 17. So I'm like fresh in college. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And I knew I had a way with men. I knew I had a way with men that young. So I kind of capitalized off of that. But I think what I would tell my younger self is to slow down, and really look around you. Enjoy the people that surround you. Not kind of what you can manipulate. Because when I was that young, again, I'm 17, just starting college. I'm like, you know, hey, I know I'm cute. I got a little something going on for myself. So I kind of use that to my advantage. But I would tell myself to slow down, enjoy people, really get to know people. That's what I would tell my younger self. Seriously. Because I think I grew up very fast. Like I was going into sex clubs, stuff like that, because I was trying to see what was going on. Because I had the internet, like I was Googling everything. And the stuff that I was into, my peers weren't into. Because I was doing BDSM at the age of 19. I became a professional dominatrix. You know, I finished college at 21. So I kind of already had grew up.
So it sounds to me like, are you taking that advice these days, sort of slowing down and finding the pleasure in navigating that?
I do that every day throughout my life. I mean, but now I'm more reserved. I'm not in the spot. I don't have to be everywhere. I'm more of wanting to enjoy people, but now I have to figure out if a person likes me for me. See, that's a challenge that I deal with, because now I'm dealing with maybe dating someone that's into the fantasy of me, but not really wanting to get to know me as the woman. But it's all about their sexual fantasy and their desires.